Hello and welcome to Tara Smith's Kitchen. It's been a little while. And today I'm going to try to make Kapusniak. It's a sausage, cabbage, and potato soup. Haven't made up my mind if I'm putting sauerkraut in it yet. I'm also using my phone as a hotspot. So we're going to see how this goes. And that is bacon, by the way. I'm putting, probably a little under a pound of bacon, but kind of chopped up in here. We're going to see how this goes. Don't try to heat up too high. So we're kind of going to render it in a way for the fats off of it. Then have nice little pieces of bacon in the soup. Wash my hair back. But that is what all the vegetables and stuff are going to go into. Hey, Krabby Turtle, how are you doing? Just kind of bite-sized pieces. Try to keep everything about the size that'll fit on a fork, if you can possibly do that. I'm going to wing some of this because I've only got so much to work with. And we're going to get these kind of rendered down a little bit and get the juices going good. And then we're going to add the sausage in there. And we're going to add a few other things. I've got 2 big links of sausage. It's a Polish kielbasa. I'm usually using like venison sausage, something like that, but I thought I'd try the HEB brand kielbasa. And hello, Motobomb Virginia, how are you? But I'm gonna try the HEB brand kielbasa. And don't worry, this thing's clean. I know it's got this stuff, it's annoying me. But it used to have like, you know, they put the sticker on the outside. That stuff just never really wants to come off fully. I need to take like steel wool and scrub it. But anyways, I got 2 links of the kielbasa. I've got 2 large sweet onions. You're hooked on Spam again. Awesome. Did you add eggs to it? The Spam fried rice? Because I didn't have eggs for the video because I was broke. So I made it without eggs. It's the one thing it didn't have in it. Which is not hard. I mean, you get to the end and scramble up some eggs in with it. That's pretty easy to do. But yeah, it works. And I'm glad you liked it. But I've got 2 links of sausage, 2 large sweet onions that I've chopped up. I've got 4 carrots. Well, what was it, 4? No, it was 5. Yes, it does. She can smell the maple in there. But it is what it is. It's bacon, and it'll work for the soup. Anyways, let me turn this a little bit because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I want the grease. Yeah, because 2 of them were smaller. But if you got normal size carrots, about 4 large normal large size, you know what I mean, carrots. The ones you want to see in the pack when you buy them from the store, those. 4 of those that I've chopped up. You can coin them. I cut them up a little smaller. I've got 5 sticks of celery. I've got 5, I used gold potatoes this time. I'll use either red or gold for a lot of these dishes. And I generally don't peel them if it's just for me. If other people are eating and I don't know what they want, I will peel them. But you don't have to with the red or the gold potatoes. And I used 3 large cloves of garlic. And let's see what else. I'm not sure. Hold on. I'm not used to someone hollering from the other room. You don't want to make it into like fried bacon. Am I streaming on Rumble? No, I'm not streaming on Rumble at the moment. It was hard enough to set this up, you know? Because I'm using my phone for a hotspot at the moment. And that is what it is. We still do not have internet service. Well, what's up on here so I can see what it looks like. Oh, cool. But, yeah, we don't have cable or internet or any of that since the storm. Yeah, we're not frying bacon. We're just kind of on a low heat, cooking it down just a little bit. A great connection, awesome. Now, on my phone, I know if I'm hooked up to the GoPro and using it for a hotspot, I don't think it will go much more than an hour, so I haven't tried it much more than an hour, and this is probably going to be an hour and a half-ish, 2 hours to cook all this, maybe. I don't know. Look in here. There we go. Now we're getting some grease. And here is the kielbasa. You can peel it if you want. This one didn't really need to be peeled. Some of them you look at them, it's like, yeah. But it depends. Bearded tattooed guy. Hello, how are you doing? You're a happy guy today? Well, that's good. It's always better to be happy. Now you're going to want to get all that bacon grease all over everything. And if you can get like just regular thick cut bacon to do that, that works out probably the best. I just happened to grab the maple stuff. It was either that or this other weird stuff, and I didn't want that. So we're just going to cook this for a minute or a few minutes like it is. Oh, she bought a rice cooker. That is awesome. We've got a Instapot somewhere that is amazing at cooking rice. Sorry for all the banging. And as usual, this is what I eat this week. So this is my lunch and my dinner. If I stay local this week, it's going to be more my dinner every night for the week. And that's how it goes. I do have it on a low heat at the moment. Yeah, I use a lot of rice too. Depends on what I'm making. If I'm doing more Cajun stuff, I use a lot of rice. If I'm doing more Slavic stuff, I use a lot of cabbage and potatoes and that sort of thing. It's interesting, the obvious similarities, and for obvious reasons. I'm going to turn the other stuff off on my phone because I don't want it messing with it. There we go. Alright, hopefully the signal wasn't messing up. I saw the thing start spinning on my phone, so hopefully it wasn't messing up for y'all or not. Turned everything else off on my phone. Yes, it is. Just make sure you have salt, because the flavor on the rice, it's much better. If you've at least got rice with a little salt with it, it's awesome by itself. And then I remember like breakfast at school, because I was poor, one of the things that they would fix us, which I haven't heard of in a long time at schools, but they would have like buttered rice, or they just have rice and you'd put butter on it and a little sugar, and that was breakfast. I don't know if anybody can remember eating that for breakfast at school or not. But I come from the era of when you waited for Friday, when they had the square crappy pizza that you lived for. Stream is good here also. Cook it with rice or add a... Depends on what you're doing. This doesn't have rice in it. But there's some dishes it's better to cook it separate. And cook... If you're going to leave something in the fridge for a long time, like you're going to eat on it all week, a lot of times cook your rice separate or as you go. Because what will happen is your rice will soak up all of the juices in whatever you put it in. And then you're going to have no juice. But if you're just cooking it for everybody and you're going to eat it in a day or two or what have you, you can cook it all together. And it also depends on what you're making. Some things you cook the rice in the stuff. But if you're doing like, you know, a lot of like your chicken and rices and stuff like that, I'll do like some rice separate to the side. Like usually what I'll do is more of like, you know, chicken and sausage gumbo. So with that, I'll cook the rice separately, and then you put the rice in the bowl and you pour the gumbo over it and you make it all nice. We're just getting all these juices going. And time for the next one. I'm going to use a weird lid so that y'all can see in here. It's off of another pot, but I wanted to use this big one. And this is 2 sweet onions. You don't have to use a sweet onion. You can use just a white onion or something like that, or whatever you have. I just prefer to use a sweet onion. Oh, I gotta get that bacon grease all over everything. Trying to kind of turn it over. You're actually starving now. Awesome. I've done my job. That's going to be the next thing we add. Got carrots and celery and all that stuff. We'll cook the onions down for a minute. Everything's going to kind of cook down on top of itself. I'm going to put the cabbage in there and I'm going to let it cook down. I haven't decided how much stock or broth or whatever I decide to use. I'm probably just going to use bouillon. I've got that over there. And I haven't decided also, I usually use, if you remember the kind of square pepper containers like your grandma would have used, something like that. There's a company called Siege, and they make sweet Hungarian paprika. And that's usually what I use. And I'm trying some different ones. Actually, here we go. That one. That's usually what I use, and you can usually more find it in this size. And do not use smoked paprika in this dish. It does not go with this dish. It's just there. Flavor, yes. HEB has decided to start having Hungarian paprika. Then I have the McCormick, and it's hot Hungarian paprika. I haven't decided which one I'm going to use, but I'm going to try it. If it's any good, I'll let you know. It's not going to be bad, but I mean, compared to the other one. You really want Hungarian paprika. If you can't get that, Spanish paprika is really good. It's like on par. They're both really good. But if you don't have that, regular paprika will work. Just do not use smoked paprika. I'm cooking a lot of this. I'm using a whole head of cabbage. Probably turn my heat up a little bit. It's about a medium heat instead of a low medium. Don't want it too high. Listen to it. Sounds like I need to stir it more. It'll have more juices here in a little bit. Like right now, you gotta be careful. You gotta stir it quite frequently. It'll be boiling itself in a minute. The sizzle sounds good. Yes, the sizzle sounds good. I might add just a little bit of water in a minute. We shall see how much juice we get out of these onions. The onions will have a lot, and of course the bacon has the grease, and the celery will have some more. Then when the cabbage starts cooking down, if you put a little water in the bottom just to give it some, don't put a whole lot, because the cabbage is going to cook down. And don't add your, whether you use broth or stock. A lot of times I'll use like a vegetable base. Don't put that in until your cabbage is kind of cooked down. Because number one, you'll see how much liquid is in there. And that's about when you're going to add your potatoes. I'm cooking more of this than I usually do. I usually cook half this amount. The onion should give you enough. It should. But it wouldn't be the first time I've burnt anything live. Going live has its advantages and disadvantages. I've never burned anything. Oh, burnt plenty. That's how you learn to make a roux in like less than 5 minutes with the heat turned all the way up and more flour than you have oil in a whisk, and you just stir. Yeah, I burnt quite a few learning how to do that. She's playing with the cats in there. And once they get more accustomed to everything on my other channel, I'll probably have them on there. I had the kitten on there a while back, and I'll probably have the other one out there. Her name's Josephine. Yeah, usually people wouldn't notice if you know what you're doing. It's like, oh, it's burning a little bit. Oh yeah, it's called Cajun. Is it blackened? Yeah, it's blackened. You don't want this blackened. And probably gonna put close to a tablespoon of oregano and marjoram in here. About a half a tablespoon of caraway seeds and probably 2 tablespoons of paprika. And some black pepper. I don't know how much yet. And then at the end, kind of taste it for salt. Always taste your food. And like, yeah, have a spoon or something. If you're cooking for a bunch of people, especially if they're not your immediate family, have a few different spoons. Like, just use a separate one when you taste it and toss them in the sink. If it's your family, no one cares. You know, but you still have to taste it for, you know, for salt, for heat, for all kinds of things. You know what everyone wants. Spice up the meal's nice. It's actually, I try not to use too much spice. I know how they talk about white people don't use spice. Well, actually we do. But you don't want to over spice it. Like, you don't need to put 15 different spices in a simple dish. You know, oregano and marjoram are the same plant. It's just one is sweet and one's more savory. That's why often you'll have them kind of balanced out when you're using both. And a lot of the Slavic dishes will have marjoram and it'll have caraway seeds or paprika. But you can't figure it out. Yeah, it took me a while to figure it out. Kind of getting up there in age myself. Salt, pepper, garlic, that's about it. A lot of dishes, that's about all you need. I use a lot of garlic on certain dishes. You know? Like if I'm making garlic soup, that uses a lot of garlic. But most of them don't need more than, like, you know, 3 cloves in it. You got good fresh garlic. And this will be the onions, the celery, and I've also got 3 cloves of garlic that I've smashed and chopped up. It is in here as well. And in a way, all of this is spices. Like carrots will add sweetness and color, and you get the flavor from the celery and the onion. All of these vegetables and stuff, your root vegetables, your really anything, in a way, you can kind of think of them like a spice that you're adding to it. You want to get all those juices all over everything. If I go to the camp out, I ought to bring like this pot here and have it stuffed with stuff. And then make like a big pot of something. But no, yet I'm gonna try. I couldn't do the trip I was wanting to do this summer. Just don't have the money. That's life. We're all just grown kids. Yeah. Well, our youngest is 21, so. What I consider a kid keeps getting older and older as I get older. And older people start looking younger and younger. It's like 60 doesn't look that old anymore. It don't look old at all. Your daughter is turning 21 this year. Cool. My son turned 21 in February. It's like, where did the time go? Every time you blink, you miss so much. Don't blink. Because they're a baby and you blink and they're a toddler. And you blink again and they're in school. All I did was I blinked and you're... What year is it? Yeah, it's one thing to not have enough seasoning. It's another thing to have too much. You know? Oh, cool. You gotta film it. If you get to meet Wheelburner, that's awesome. For those watching this later, I'm talking to people in the chat. Hey Bjorn, how you doing? Like I said earlier, I'm cooking about twice as much as I usually cook. Now I'm going to put it all in Tupperware, and it's going to go in the bottom of the fridge. And depending on what I'm doing, I might take it to work, I might just eat it for supper. And I got peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I got some ham for sandwiches, so I'm set for food. I was talking to a guy earlier today that he lost all his food too, because we lost everything in the fridge and in the deep freeze. You know, and... you know, all our meat and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's a good idea every once in a while to practice cooking from your dry goods. Be able to, you know, fix a meal with it. Because realistically, even if you have a generator, unless you got one of those kick-ass generators that burn like a gallon a day, if was it Ghost Shadow, I think has one, if he's out there. But you're gonna have whatever gas you have in a generator, and if you're out of power more than a couple of days, you're gonna run out. And the gas stations don't have gas. Going to Finland for 3 weeks. Awesome, dude. So once you run out, it's however long your fridge is going to last. And if you're out for a week, by the end of the week, you're going to be having a barbecue or whatever, cooking up whatever food you can. We still have people without power. Subdivision near us just finally got it. Probably stirring it too much. OCD, my friend. Oh, we've been worse as far as with hurricanes and stuff. People are freaking out, and there are people dying with heat-related deaths and medical-related, have to have medical equipment. But that's something too, if you've got an older relative especially and you're in a situation like that, you need to check on them and get them someplace to get them cooled off. You know, your house if you have it, or help them get a hotel room or something. You gotta look out for people. And if you have medical equipment that has to be used, you really need to make plans ahead of time for, you know, in the scenario that you don't have power for an extended period of time. Your offer still stands? What is that offer? The cat meowing in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. Next we're going to add cabbage. I have a whole bunch of cabbage. The cabbage, if it's in chunks and stuff, don't worry about it. Chopping it up and stuff, you're kind of going to like a few of those chunks. You know, it's almost like they're meaty, if that makes any sense. Now I'll move this thing over here, and I don't have any place to put this thing. And if they're a little too big chunks, you're going to be able to cut those with a spoon anyways. It's cabbage. I have to do a swap. Here to here. And I have my coffee cup. My wife got it for me. It's one of my prized possessions. That's also that guitar you see me playing, that big blue one. It's been abused. I've glued the neck back on. It's cracked, everything else, but she bought it for me a long time ago. So I love the thing. And thank you, that bearded and tattooed guy. Yeah, she's pretty cool. She patches me up and sends me on my way. I'm like a stray cat, all scarred up. come home from being gone for a week or two. And she doctors me all up and cleans me up and sends me back out. She's more like, you watch that, what is it, Aristocats, that little fluffy white cat. That's like her. Guitar. Guitar is my first love. I don't play as good as I did at one time. It's nerve damage. I had to relearn how to do a lot of things. And, you know, you pick it up for a while and you put it back down and you pick it up and just, it's like life takes over, but you always keep going back to it. But then when you're younger and basically feeling no pain in the garage and you're just beating the hell out of a guitar, you know, yeah, I got pretty good then. But I find myself playing just acoustic more and more. The older I get, just the more I love an acoustic guitar. I have to move this and move this. Stir this really good. Basically, you'll put your meat in there, and if you can, kind of brown it a little bit. I didn't really brown it that much, but you know, just you see it kind of turn a little bit brown there in the grease. And you don't have to put the bacon in there. That's just something I do because I like doing that. And yeah, you put your onions in there and you start piling it on top and cooking everything down. There's no real timing of anything. You can kind of have already put the cabbage in and let it start cooking down. I just wanted to kind of get these flavors mixed in really good before I added the cabbage. It's going to be a minute before I can stir it real good. This is going to be fun to add this much cabbage. I usually throw away the outer leaves of the cabbage. I gotta put some of this in by hand first. But if you got a big chunk like that, don't worry about it. You can break it up if you want. But it's gonna soften it and you'll be able to cut that with a spoon. It's no big deal. So I'm trying to put this in here without spilling everything everywhere. Like I said, this is going to cook down. I could have added the spices already, but I didn't. Shot hair. Yes, wash your vegetables. And what you're mentioning is probably one of the safer things to get put on them in the field. We spray them with all kinds of stuff. Coolness. kind of letting them flavors mix in there. As long as you add the spice before the potatoes, I think you're good. Debating which one. Should I use the hot Hungarian paprika or the regular? That actually smells pretty good. I mean, we don't have smell-o-vision yet, so you can't smell it. Might just try it with just this. See the smoke rising through there. Jumpy Killer, how are you doing? There, hot water. Where's my thing that I just had? Oh, here it is. I had an issue with the cat. A cat that gets offended that it's not the center of attention. Funny how they get that way. I know people like that. Maybe there were cats in previous lives. Possibly. I'm just eyeballing this. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I got it blocked. If you're using bouillon like the powder like I'm doing, and it's not like just completely dissolved in there, don't worry about it. Because it's going to be boiling and completely dissolved just shortly. That should be about all we need. Okay, cool. Thank you for watching that bearded guy. And I will tell my wife hi for you. Amy, he said to tell you hi. She can hear me back there. This is just bouillon I got over here. I'm gonna use chicken this time. Last time I used just a lot of times I use better than bouillon. Their vegetable base is awesome. I'm just using this. Kind of use what I have. Now, depending on how sensitive someone's nose is, and I know someone in the other room that doesn't like the smell of cabbage cooking, just be aware of that. There are people who do not like the smell of cabbage cooking. And as you can tell, that is cooking down. What I'll probably do is put the seasoning on top and then pour the bouillon on top of it. Let it mix in that way. I don't know. We'll find out. I think I'm going to use this one though. Use a lot of HEB stuff. They should sponsor me. I don't think they care. I'm not big enough. You hear the cat? She's affectionate, alright. She got outside, she'd be really, really affectionate. She's been watching that Tom walking across the fence line. At some point, we need to get her fixed. Let's see where we're at. Probably going to do about 2 tablespoons of paprika, and I'm going to use the regular. So I'll put this one back here. Caraway seeds, about a teaspoon. That's about what I've got in here. About a tablespoon, and maybe a tablespoon. I'm cooking like twice as much as I normally do. I'm trying to do that math. And this dish, that should work. There are some dishes that aren't where you can just like divide and multiply by 2 and make it come out right. That's another reason you need to taste your food. And I'm not going to be using a measuring spoon, so. So what else are y'all doing? We got Bjorn is going to, I believe, Finland. Monobomb may be meeting someone. And bearded and tattooed guy sounds like he's got a schedule like mine. I should be in bed by 10, but I'm not tonight. Because I gotta be up early. I gotta drop that last box off like 7 a.m. So I gotta get to the yard, go down the road, drop it off. I gotta go somewhere else. I gotta run 2 boxes. Ah, it's gonna be fun. We lost a driver. So everything's flip-flop. May have lost 2. I don't know what the other one is. He's long since past retirement age. One got fired and one's due to retire at any day. Always wonderful. Kind of pulling it up off the bottom if I can. There we go. So let's see. a little less than a tablespoon. That will be marjoram. Right there. Marjoram. Oregano. About the same. Here we go. And if they look identical, like I said, they're technically the same plant. A lot of places they call marjoram sweet oregano. A teaspoon. Now the thing with paprika, if you live in a swamp like I do, and it doesn't have a really good seal, put it in a plastic bag or something. Peppers are the first thing bugs like to go to. So 1. 2-ish. Yes, I am. Got everything moved around in the house right now due to utilities. And the TV in the living room is hooked up to the antenna. But we can't really use, well, there's a TV in the bedroom. I need to run a cable back there and so we can have antenna TV, but we don't have that, so we're all watching in TV in the living room. And we can't have the volume on while I'm doing this because of YouTube and their wonderful channel strikes. Motobomb. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Motobomb. It's gonna be that much longer. I'll let this cook down just a minute more. Then we're gonna put the potatoes in. And I know a lot of people have like recipes, exactly this much, exactly that much. And basically what we're gonna do, once I put the potatoes in and I stir it up good, is we're gonna make sure the potatoes are covered good. And I will make up some more of the bouillon and we'll pour it in there. But you can use vegetable base. You can actually just use water. You don't have to use a base of anything. It will still turn out good. That's probably more traditional anyways, because this is all poor people food. She's laughing back there at the cost of food. But it's what people would grow in their gardens themselves, you know, peasant food. You know, they had cabbage, they had, you know, once they had potatoes, they had potatoes. There's a lot of root vegetables. There's one thing I forgot to put in here that I did buy and I don't know where it is. You can put a turnip or a rutabaga or something like that in there. I didn't do that this time. I might do that on another dish. I could still put it in here, but nah, too late. Or like the brumbarachka, when I cook that, that's potato soup, but it's a lot of root vegetables and stuff in there, things people grew themselves, you know. Cat, stop. Chloe, hello. I don't care. You stop. Oh, she's giving me lip. Can you hear her? She's talking back now. She's crazy. I'm wondering who else is on right now. Probably corking someone. But at this point, cabbage doesn't take that long to cook. And once I add the potatoes in, when they're cooked, the dish will be done. You can decide whether to add sauerkraut or not. And I may save my sauerkraut for something else. I don't know. I have not decided. But I do have some sauerkraut I can put in there if I want. Traditionally, it would have sauerkraut in with it. As y'all can kind of see in there, it is cooking down. And this time I use gold potatoes instead of red. And like I said, with gold or red potatoes, you can peel them, you cannot peel them. Either way, me personally, I don't peel them, I just wash them. And some people like them peeled, so in that case you peel them. She likes them peeled, so if she was going to eat this, I would peel them. But this is literally me coming home from work, throw it in the microwave, have something to eat. Yeah. Um, really the gold and the red are the ones that I either peel or I don't. If it's like a russet or something like that, those kind of dishes, which don't do good in soups, yeah, those I peel. Russets are not good for soups. They break apart too easy. It's easy to overcook them. It's cooking down. I don't know. I'm still alive at the moment. Now I'm going to add potatoes. I'm live. Don't worry, the water's clean. I had water sitting in it. I'm distracted by a beautiful brunette. She does that to me. I'm about to add it anyways. Yeah, russets will turn to mush too much or too quick in a soup. You really don't want russets for a soup. You want like red or gold potatoes. Now, if you're frying them, like you're making tacos and stuff like that, you're frying potatoes, russets are awesome. You're slicing them up, coining them, that sort of thing. But in a soup, they do not do that well. That should not need much more. If you're cooking a pot of beans or something like that, have a pot of water boiling to the side. But you do not want to add cold water to things like that. I don't know if I have. Sweet potatoes are awesome. A dish I hadn't made in a while that I'm gonna make in the next couple of weeks is well, it's a pork stew, and I use like half like red or gold potatoes, and then I'll have sweet potatoes in there with it, and it's wonderful. I think that's the first dish I cooked for this channel. No. Just added 2 more cups. Yes, I know I'm weird. I'm just pushing it all down level. We're still going to get some more water out of that cabbage. I'm going to cover it up. And in about 15-20 minutes, the potatoes should be done and the soup will be done. Thank you, Motobound. Usually down here with potatoes, we're either making some kind of soup or we're making like tacos. That was real ladylike. She's getting frustrated back there. She wants the TV volume on. Is that the one with Tom Cruise?
No, it's about the little boys.
Okay, then I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen that one with Tom Cruise. That's actually pretty good.
That was because you're killing me, Smalls.
She's watching some movie called The Samurai. Oh, The Sandlot? I thought you said The Samurai. Yeah, Sandlot, I've seen that. Everyone's seen The Sandlot. Who hasn't seen The Sandlot? I thought she said The Samurai. I'm losing my hearing.
That dog reminded me of Dennis. He would get there. Oh, and now he's their mascot. How cute.
I've never really used an air fryer. Amy has. I have used duck fat before. It's really good. Last time I cooked a duck, I saved some. I hadn't done that in a while. Duck is interesting to cook. Fried duck is awesome. Like at a Chinese or Japanese restaurant kind of thing. I'm sure their cuisine is a little bit different on that. But any of them I've had fried duck at, it's been very, very good. Regular potatoes. Yeah, she likes sweet potatoes a lot. She's always buying sweet potatoes. She'll eat like one big sweet potato for a meal. She'll just put it in the oven and cook it and put some butter on it. And that's honestly a really good meal. I did not add pepper. That ought to be enough pepper. There we go. Pat in the bunker, how are you doing? I know I haven't been on in a while on this channel. Hopefully this should be about 30 minutes longer. And that's about it. As soon as the potatoes are done, this dish will be ready to serve. This is also something you can make in a slow cooker. But I would start off doing the vegetables kind of like I did. And, you know, put the meat in there, get it going, get the vegetables going, and then put the cabbage and stuff on top of it. And let it cook in the slow cooker for a while. And you can put the sauerkraut on it right then if you're going to use sauerkraut, or you can put it on closer to the end if you want. I think the Ukrainians version is more sauerkraut heavy. A lot of these dishes are very similar. You're talking, you could basically fit all these little countries inside of Texas. You know, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland, Ukraine, Hungary, Austria. They're all right there. I mean, driving from Prague to Kiev is like driving from Houston to Atlanta. If you wanted to go to Moscow, that's like driving from Prague to, or if you want to go from like Prague to Moscow, that's like driving from Houston to Chicago. So that little triangle has like all of it right there. What spices? I put probably about 1 3/4 tablespoons of Hungarian paprika in there. About a teaspoon of caraway seeds. And close to a tablespoon of oregano and of marjoram. I'm cooking twice as much as I normally do. And I use 2 links of Polish sausage, kielbasa, and I usually use venison. And I put probably 3/4 of a pound of thick sliced bacon in the bottom to kind of render it out and get the fat and stuff from it. To start cooking everything down. I put that in there, I put the sausage in, I put 2 sweet onions, 1 bell pepper, it'd be about 4 good sized carrots. I used 5, but 2 of them were kind of skinny. I used, what was it, 5 sticks of celery that are chopped up, 3 cloves of garlic. I smashed them and chopped them on the garlic, and I used the whole head of cabbage. Oh, if that's what you want, make it. Oh, the cat's going crazy. Yeah. Also using this kind of pan, another reason I keep kind of stirring it up off the bottom, you can burn it real easy because it's that thin metal. It's really hot down by the frame, by the flame, by the frame. Now we go from cabbage, which makes a lot more juice or water, to potatoes, which are going to suck up all of that. So I may add some more, I don't know. Tasting pretty good though. Cool. I'll look for it. Some of the Hispanic dishes have a little bit different oregano in them. That's probably why. I have a Hispanic store not far from my house that I do a lot of shopping at. They're the ones that helped me with my recipe for the albondiga soup, which if you've never had is awesome. It's Mexican meatball soup, and it's really good. I have a recipe on my channel for that. So now we're basically waiting on the potatoes. And having a war between the potatoes and the cabbage. One adds water and one sucks it up. And it will suck up all the salt in the dish too, so taste it again before you're done. They're awesome, great flavor. Great. There's Jumpy Killer out there. If you want to make something, make it. If no one else is going to eat it, don't make a whole lot. Eat it yourself. Be interesting to see the recipe. It's 10:07. Lovely. I wanted to be in bed by now. You can tame your ambitions. Cool. This lid technically doesn't go on this pot, so it might drip a little steam. I just put it up there so that y'all can see through it. And see what's going on in there. It's called dripping the same spot. One spot will drip. Then when I'm through, I've got to put it all in Tupperware. I might have to take the lid off. I don't know. We will find out though. You could eat it for a week straight. Awesome. Be careful of steam. And of course, water running off of a lid or anything like that. I'm trying not to like mash the potatoes and stuff. I'm just trying to sort of turn it over. And it does need a little more liquid. So it does get hot. There we are. Getting there. That's like one thing after another. I had to fix the hot water heater, and then we get hit by a hurricane. Make sure those potatoes are getting cut. See, 1 can of beer. Not today. I'd be at work in a few hours. They're starting to soften up. These taters need to hurry up and cook. Um, yeah, I could, or let me put it on here. I could send you the recipe, or you could look on my channel, and I have a video for Kapusniak on there. It's just blowing steam out. Try to wipe it down. Device will power down soon. Okay, I need to plug that in. So hopefully it don't die. If it does, I'm sorry. I forgot to plug the computer in. Have the phone plugged in because I'm using it for a hotspot. But this is a good dish to cook in a slow cooker. And just let it slow cook all day. And it is cabbage, and if you add the sauerkraut to it, that is cabbage too. So be aware if your stomach is sensitive to that. You like traditional foods. So do I. So do I. I'll wait about 5 more minutes and try another one of those potatoes. As soon as they are ready, I'm dishing it up. We have a tiny kitchen. Washed. Need a good bowl for this. know those are washed. That one was. These don't really match, but that'll work. So I have a bowl ready. Oh yeah, yeah. That is a possibility I can try sometime. Usually when I'm cooking with beer, I'm like barbecuing. Which I would love to have a good barbecue grill. I want to get one of those Webers that are like $100 and something. I just haven't had the money. I could film some barbecue. I do have a Patreon. Don't promote it as often as I should. But I do have one. Patreon and PayPal and all that good stuff. All those links are listed on my channel. I have this flame up kind of high. I keep getting it off the bottom. Beer goes with everything. Yes, my people love beer. Cooking. I'm still live. It's like, what am I doing? You do a link. Oh, Honda Zone. Okay. Got people going back and forth. Into my channel. That is my Patreon link I just put out there. And I'm on StreamYard. I don't believe that's set to all messages. So hopefully I haven't missed anything. I am your people. Awesome. Pilsner beer was invented in Pilsen, Czech Republic. This was just Bohemia at the time. So we invented that. And I think they're the largest beer drinkers in the world. If not, no, if they're not number one, they're number two. And not to put anything against the Germans there. They did wonderful things with the stuff we made. So I'm more likely to drink liquor than beer. Takes too much beer. Usually if I'm drinking beer, it's like I'm eating Mexican food at a Mexican restaurant and I'm drinking cerveza. Or I'm barbecuing or something like that. Or sometimes I'll have, like if I'm cooking here, what have you, I do like a good, like a Pilsner Urquell, something like that. Those are good. If I'm not drinking something like a Pilsner Urquell, it's generally Miller Lite. Just nice, ice cold Miller Lite. That works pretty good. But with beer, I'll generally, if I buy a case of beer a year later, I'm like, is it any good? You know? Part of that has to do with my job. I can't even blow a trace. At my job, I cannot even blow a trace. So in order to drink, I need at least 2 days off. There we go. That's damn near done. Okay, where do I want to put everything? I live in Southeast Texas, out east of Houston. Kind of between Houston and Beaumont. This is small town Texas. Close enough to a big city to get in for work. Debating if I want to add a little salt to it. But I don't know. It tasted like it had enough, and then I added all the potatoes. Yeah, the food here is amazing. Because we have that mix of like the country food that some would call soul food, which really everybody eats here. You know, the grits and greens and all that kind of stuff. And then we got the Cajun food. And we have the Tex-Mex. And we just have a wonderful mix of all that. And Houston's a port city. And usually around the port city, the other thing you get, especially a big major one like the Port of Houston, you have all these immigrant groups coming in. So it's real easy to find authentic food from all over the world. And that's one of the great things about living here, is the food is amazing. Doesn't matter what you're looking for. It can be Greek food, it can be Jamaican, it can be a Vietnamese noodle shop, it can be Indian food. No matter what you're looking for, you can find good food. I think it needs some more salt. Yeah, potatoes, they will suck up the salt. It's another reason why I say taste your food. You can add something to it like the potatoes, and then it's like, oh, it needs something. A little bit more. All I have is this stuff. I like having the finer ground stuff for adding to things. But she gets these things in the grinders. This is about done. Let's try that again. Yes, I'm sitting in a chair over here. That's about right. I need to get a new measuring spoon, but I can measure with my hand too. A lot of times it's really what I do. I kind of guesstimate with my hand. Pretty sure this is about done. Or it is done. I want the juice, I just don't want it dripping all over the stove. Too late. I need a picture of that. So I gotta wipe all that off. Take a picture and post it to the interwebs. It's like the spoon's in the way. Trying to take that shot. All the things you notice when you go to take a picture. Cool. And now I will show y'all. Here is the soup. It's traditionally more of a Polish dish, but like I said, I mean, there's influence. You got Poland to the north, you got Hungary to the south, Austria, and there's like a mixture in there, a lot of the same kind of foods, you know. Like Ukraine has their own version of pierogies, and you know, everybody has, you know, their boiled bread and all of that, and their potato bread, and it's pretty cool. You know, but it's like, you know, a dish being made in Austin versus Houston. You talk about the actual distance a lot of these places are from each other. I had to get some. So I guess I didn't add the sauerkraut. Traditionally, you would add the sauerkraut. I'm not going to do that this time. Here's a spoonful. Coolness. Why did it do a motion photo? I didn't want to do a motion photo. There we go. I posted it on my Instagram. So for anybody else that's still out there, thank you so much for watching. Food is done. As soon as it cools off, I will dish it up and put it up. I'm sorry if you can hear scratching. I can't even itch with scratching. Scar from a wreck. He has scars in the itch. You can't scratch it. Try to get up and do farming stuff. Awesome, awesome. I grew up doing farming stuff. So thank you all for watching, and I'll try to get some more lives out. And I know I haven't been putting a whole lot out lately. On this channel, there's multiple reasons for that. One's being broke, and my work schedule, and just there's not enough time for everything. My other channel, at least I can film riding to work and back, you know, so I can get more stuff out. But I mean, I get home and I've only got so much time. And I'll try to get some more stuff out for y'all, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, especially if you've watched it this far. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I appreciate everyone, and my Patreon link is out there in the chat, and it's also in my links on the channel. All support is greatly appreciated. You are all awesome. Thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and eat my supper at 10:30 at night. So I will catch y'all later. And it's good seeing you again, Pat in the Bunker. You're awesome. And so is everyone else. Thank you so much. I'm going to hit that little red button, and I am going to get out of here. So, bye.